Not yet. Game's already started, but then I would really like to find them. Ah, here we go. Now I see them as well. Lambi against Van Wely. It's up the screen. Oh, they started quite a while ago. My bad. I somehow missed them. Alright, so let's check out the last year's final. Lambi Van Wely. Let's just hop back to the beginning of the game. Just make sure we didn't miss anything here. We've seen this Nimzo pop by quite a few times now. I think Alpha Zero scored a few nice wins in this opening, but not specifically this line. Anyway, well, White looks comfortable. He has the pair of bishops, which is always nice. And he seems to have centered control. The only thing he's lacking, though, is development. Because his king is still in the center, and Black's rooks are already waiting on the open files, or files soon to open. And I wonder if White has time enough to hold back these Black rooks. I'll expect the knight to go to f6. Now he goes to e7. You know, things are opening up. I mean, he can castle, but you know, you can take on d4, and if the rook ever gets to c2, might become a bit tricky already. I wonder what he's going to do about that. He can decide to take on d7 and force, after pawn takes c5, Black to take back with the pawn. But I don't think he wants to give up his pair of bishops. These bishops are strong. They're limiting Black in his play quite a bit. The other game, also very solid exchange Slav between Bok and Smits. I will just briefly show the position. Here we go. That's what's happening between Bok and Smits. So very, very solid. White surely is in control, but Black doesn't have too many weaknesses. So I wonder if Bok can find a way through somehow and make something happen here. Let's keep our focus on the other game. Because I feel like there's more happening here. As mentioned, White is the pair of bishops, but Black does have his pieces well positioned. Rooks on the open files. Knights can jump to some nice squares, maybe c5, maybe e5. So it's not so sure, not so clear where White can, you know, force anything. Oh wow, he just exchanges his bishop. Now going into this opposite color bishop position, but this feels very, very thin. Let's c5. We're going to a4, trying to arrest this bishop pawn formation a little bit. Oh boy, things are happening now. Now he needs to keep an eye on some tricks, because rook d2 allows knight b3. I'm not sure if it's winning anything, but it looks scary. And also rook d2 maybe allows e5, because there's this pin on the unprotected rook on d2. He has to be very careful, because if the rook goes to one of these squares, it's a knight check. This square just looks awkward, and I mean even bishop c2 can chase it away again. This square also allows some knight b3 kind of moves. And I mean going to f1 and g1, it just feels wrong. So I wonder where he's gonna put his rook here. Wow, he puts it in g1. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not a good sign. So knight b3. He doesn't want the pawn, he just wants to make sure the rooks are not coming in. But it feels like black is taking over control a little bit here. Because he's covering this d1 square with the bishop, so he basically won the fight for the d file already. At g5 maybe, if he ever wants to kick away the knight. Could even go e5, maybe he's planning on playing e5. If bishop takes, then g5, and then you have this annoying knight fork, which you're no longer protecting against because the knights from f4 will be gone. I think e5 is what he's doing next, and he's just making sure the bishop is covering the d5 square, so the knight is not going to jump there. e3, okay, so no more e5 now. Still preparing e5. Maybe white needs to play e5. That's an option, because also that feels a bit awkward. The white position just feels awkward. I mean, the rook's on g1 h1, it's not pretty, so he goes rook c1, trying to get these guys back into play again. But now black has the momentum, he can double up on the d file. The knight moves, he just goes rook d3. And then puts the next rook on d8, I suppose. No, knight d3 even. Rook back to g1. I mean, that has to be upsetting if you have to go rook g1 every time. I want to go to a1, but okay. Wow. Black is trying to maneuver his pieces to the perfect squares, but white is still holding. He's still holding. So there's the rook. Now double up. No, still no double up. G1. Oh boy. But he's also low on timing. I mean, he's below 20 seconds. He needs to be faster. H4. Basically, he's saying, okay, I'm safe now. It's all protected. I can just do things on the king side now. And there's no way through for black. Wow. I mean, this guy has nerves of steel. That's some serious defending there. King e3 is just kept his whole position together, and it's pretty impressive. Rook d3 again. You look at the knight. The knight's even going to f5. He needs to stop that. I mean, this is some pretty impressive defending by white. He's not completely safe just yet, but I think he achieved quite a bit here by still being alive, because it looked terrible a few minutes ago. In the meantime, Bok and Smeets are still playing a similar position to what we just saw, so we'll just stick to what's happening in this match. And he's trying. Now he's getting the bishop. The rook's coming in. Is that a big deal? Well, once the rook gets to g7, I mean, these two pawns are dropping. I'm not sure in what order, but he will start dropping pawns here. The bishop should be stronger than the knight, but this king is in trouble. It doesn't feel comfortable at all being on the edge of the board. Now knight d5, maybe these minor pieces get exchanged then. Okay, so Bok and Smeets drew the first game. That means Smeets gets white now in the second game. And I have the feeling this is heading towards the draw as well. Sure, white is up a pawn, but he needs to stop the a pawn, and in the meantime black can scoop the other white pawns, and I think this is just going to be a draw, especially knowing that only F and H pawn with rooks on the boards is also a draw. So theoretically, black should be okay. But it's pretty impressive that Lamy managed to even get such an endgame. If you consider where he came from, what position he had. But oh, okay, so Luke is going. He's going for it. He's not even just accepting a draw. He's trying to win it. Or is he just accepting the draw? Ooh, that's a nice trick. That's a nice trick. Now it might become interesting. Obviously, you can't take the rook because you queen, and if you move the rook somewhere else, you just pick up the pawn. That's that. Wow. Another big question is his f pawn quick enough? But he might have some sort of perpetual. Uh-huh. Okay, well that will do. Oh, whoa! Oh, no way, I missed this. If you take, lose the rook, and he's just gonna queen on the next. Wow, wow. Wade even won that game. Bravery gets rewarded in that game. Wow, that's I didn't see that one coming. Well played. Wade draws first blood in the semifinals. Okay, let's check out what's happening with Smeets and Bok. Both games interesting, but we can just follow one at a time. So let's just briefly check the opening here, see what we've got. Sicilian, we get the Alapin with c3, or postponed Alapin, or delayed Alapin, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this makes sure white gets a nice pawn center, but normally it's nothing black should worry too much about. Ooh, oh boy. So playing d5 is very aggressive because now you're opening up diagonals and you're giving up squares. And normally white wants to get the initiative, but with knight g4 attacking this pawn, he had to go rook f1. And that means black is taking over now because black is fully developed and there's rook going to c8 on the next move. And the queen is awkward. But rook c8 and knight c2, there are some nasty tricks here. He needs to find a way to defend against those ideas. Maybe knight c3 is the move here. Just develop. Make sure you give your rook some breathing space there. But it kind of backfired on white trying to be aggressive here. He plays queen b3, and I suppose rook c8 is a very healthy move now. But maybe he wants to go. Maybe he wants to go f5, trying to blow up this white pawn center. No, he's just going for the solid approach, just rook c8. And because he took the the f8 rook, I suppose he wants to push the a pawn maybe. He leaves the rook on a8. Because now the f5 plan is not so strong anymore, it seems. The rook on an f8. And I mean, white plays this move, moves the knight, and then plays bishop e3. He seems back in control again, and I'm not sure if this knight might become a problem for black. Okay, he moves it to a6. And the big question is, do you exchange queens, yes or no? I suppose not exchanging queens might be an option, but nah. Okay, let us switch to the other game real quick because things are happening here. Things are happening here. What happened? They took knights and white got a fork. Takes the rook and he ignores it and goes knight takes f4. Threatening queen g6 with checkmate here. But he just played e3, and now if Lamy takes the bishop, Van Vedi will just be up the exchange. He'll take an f8. Maybe even play f4. Yeah. Now this bishop is dreaming of being on e4. That's the perfect square for the bishop. But the thing is, I don't ever see it happening. Lamy trying to open up the diagonal for the bishop, but Luke obviously not cooperating with his plan. It's not so clear. Up the exchange, but it's obviously not so clear. Okay, let us check out the other game. Trying to not miss out on anything interesting happening here, and there happened quite a bit here since we last left this game. So we exchanged queens. That's when we left bishop f4, and he just sacrificed the pawn there. Nice, knight d4, f3. Sacrificing a pawn, but I'm not sure what for. Okay, he seems to be getting back to b6 pawn, but black's looking so active. Look at these knights. Oops, not the pawn. These knights. These are beautiful. And the white minor pieces seem to struggle a bit to find a good place on the board. B1 doesn't want to exchange, but leaves this under attack. Is that a big deal? Probably not. As you can see, his mate is low on time again. Oh, you can just attack the knight. Okay, that might be a problem. So maybe rook b4 is necessary here. Not to lose material, but only 2 seconds. If he survives this, but now it's just check, king moves, knight d3. That's just winning. Rook a1 is winning. If you go rook a1, bishop here, simply knight d3, double attack. That's game. That's game over. He goes knight d3 first. I think it doesn't matter too much. The knight, it threatens checkmate, attacks this one, attacks this one. That's too much. You have to resign here, I think. Or lose on time. But I don't think he can find a move. Wow. Bork also claiming the first win in their semi-final. So let's see how Lamy is doing. Is he's surviving? Okay, that's a big upgrade. So we last left the game when he played c4. So Van trying to keep the position closed, and now the bishop transfers to a stronger diagonal. It looks a bit awkward to bishop here, but it always threatens to go here or here and find a safe place on the board. So he always needs to keep control of these two squares. But now the king is doing that, so he can bring his rook over to some place. But where's white gonna? Where's he gonna make any progress? I mean, if you put the rook on c6, he almost has to like double up like this and then like bring the queen. It's difficult. It's very difficult. I think I'll keep the queens on the board, being like, yeah, the white king seems a bit more in trouble than the black king, so keeping these on the board looks healthy to me. So now white is probably going to try to make this bishop look silly on h5 for the rest of the game. So what is he considering here? Can he also not move his bishop? Is he looking at queen h4, pawn takes, and rook takes e3? Is that it? Does he spot a perpetual? Wow. 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 I didn't see the perpetual, but maybe I thought the king was just like running away. Yeah. Or is he gonna go c3? But then I think queen takes. I don't think there's perpetual. You can always hide your king. But maybe he's just snacking all the pawns and maybe that pawn as well. He's getting 5 pawns for the rook. Wow. Brilliant. Just brilliant. Very creative play by Lamy. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I like it. I really like it. Is he considering to take the queen? You gotta be kidding me. Maybe he has to because his king is not safe. Wow, he takes the queen. No way. So I never got to studying these rook against 5 pawn end games, strangely enough. I have no idea what's happening here. But it feels like white should be able to win this because his king is so incredibly active. Once his king gets here, he can bring his rook to attack pawns and then create his own pass pawn. Yeah, the king is too active. What is it? Yeah, it is. Rook d1. Bringing it over to d6. No? Cutting off the king. Going rook f5 maybe? Are you trying to sneak away a pawn with check there? Maybe. King h7. Of course. White has to be careful. I mean, if you don't pay attention, g2 and g1 is just a new queen. He can go rook f5. Rook f5 maybe. Because you take with check. He doesn't want to. So king h7. Okay, so we're repeating positions now. You're not going to tell me this is a draw from this point on. King f3 allowing the black king to find a more active square, but no matter where he goes, what's his next move? He can't push any pawn. There's just not a single pawn he can push. You can go rook c5, yeah. But now all the pawns are stuck. But maybe white is stuck as well. Is he trying to lose the tempo somehow? No, he's picking up the a6 pawn. So allowing g4 check, king f4. No, he has to go back. Trying to get his king here to push this pawn, but I don't think white is gonna let him. But white still has no counterplay. Playing a4 looks way too dangerous. Trying to create a passer. But it hardly seems possible. Uh-oh. Now this guy is running. Oh boy. Now the rook can defend, but the king is so close. The king is so close. No! What's happening? Oh wow, is this winning? No. Is this a draw? Do we get a queen in game now? Is it gonna be queen against queen? a4? No, now you can take this pawn. No. What? Now a4 is being pushed? I think he could have taken the a3 pawn. I think he had time. And then the pawn in the game might have been winning for black. Yeah, this is just a draw. Crazy game. Totally crazy game. Sacrificing a full rook for 5 pawns and but end game, I'm pretty sure both players had maybe missed wins there, but it's hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. Okay, so Luke's still in the lead, Bok's still in the lead. Let's switch back to Bok against Smits. They've been playing this game for a little while now. Bok already 13 seconds. That's not a lot after 17 moves. The position is looking good for white. It actually looks good for white. because center pawns are nice. White is fully developed, and yeah, it looks very healthy. Black still needs to develop a few pieces to get his king safe, and his pawn structure is also a bit awkward with these two pawns here. I'm not sure if those ever will properly work together. So bishop a6, b3, I suppose, or knight d6 check. Knight d6 check is probably better. Then pick up the bishop with the queen. So bishop pair, better pawn structure, more active pieces, just low on time. That's his only problem here. Low on time. But Bok is one of the most infamous time travel junks we have in the Netherlands. So he's used to being low on time. It's his natural habitat. He doesn't care. And he keeps playing strong moves. And the 3-second increment is, I think it's perfect for him. But as I mentioned before, also Smeets is a very good time travel player, so I think this is going to be a very exciting time scramble because this game is far from over. Still so much play left for both sides. Just moving the bishop up and down. Hello, Mark. So white is clearly in control, but it seems like he's trying to improve his position as much as possible before taking any concrete action. Because I think a move like bishop c5, it's in the air. I mean, it makes so much sense to play bishop c5 and try to isolate this b5 pawn. But I think he is a bit too afraid to exchange this bishop because with all the pawns on white, he needs this bishop to protect the dark squares. And if he exchanges it, his king might well be in trouble later on, maybe. So now Smeets just sacrifices the exchange. I think that's a very clever decision because what's white going to do now on the light squares? There's nothing to get for white on the light squares. This might even be a try to win the game. With a3, queen h4, he might be able to get his queen in. I mean, the white king is vulnerable. He has no safe place. Queen a8. No. Black is trying to get his queen in somewhere. Maybe bishop c5, bishop d4. Yeah, he's gonna put the bishop on d4 and maybe on c3 even. I think black is better here. I actually think black is better. White hardly has any play. Look at this. Oh, that's not a perpetual. I mean, you can just go queen e7. I think he should go like this maybe. Is he going for the draw? No. Don't do this to me. Oh, I thought he was just having a better position. Okay, a draw. We'll see more draws, I think. These matches are so close. Lamy van Wely. Wow. Okay, let's see this from the start. Starts as a normal game, but then white decides to knight g5. He's just going for it. h4. Harry is going in there. The rook is joining the fun. She's going for the king. Game build. You might have to refresh a bit. Might work. I'm not sure. Okay, so he sacrificed 2 pawns for this attack, and maybe he's planning to take on f7. I have no idea. First he's going to take this pawn and then put the bishop back on d3, and then he can sacrifice here. It all feels a bit artificial, but black is very slow, it seems. Knight f6, that's a clever move. I like moves like this. I really like moves like this. Oh, I just thought he blundered there because the double attack, but he has knight d5. Okay, if he cancels queenside now, that would be amazing. How but he has queen f4 check. That's a shame. I mean, canceling queenside and yeah, still castle queenside. You can do it. And get your rook into play. It's a bit too much, I guess. Looks fun, but a bit too much. Okay, so now he's only down one pawn, so he did a pretty good job. But the white king is out in the open, and that scares me. Werkt dit? Absoluut. Yes, it works. Schaakdombo, it works perfectly fine. But we always keep in mind there's a delay between the stream and chat. There's always like a delay of like 12, 13 seconds. So if you type something in chat, I read it like 12 seconds later. Keep that in mind. I do read everything though. Okay, so the white king on e2. Is it gonna survive there? I have no clue, to be honest. It's it's a bit scary, you know. Rook b1, yeah, that was my thought, and queen h1. I mean, you're just getting this king just from behind. It's dangerous. Oh, now the checks are coming. Oh, but this is devastating. King d2 allows queen d1 and winning the rook. f3 seems meant, but look at this rook. This is looking silly now. Can you trap the rook? Maybe not yet, but it's close. Like queen h4. Yeah, queen e1, and you pick up this pawn. Take here. I think black is taking over. King f1. Okay, you get your king safe and protect this pawn. But this rook still looks so awkward. He resigned. Ah, rook a1 is coming. Nothing you can do. Oh boy. So King Luke extending the lead. 2 wins now. And we'll just hop back to Smeets against Bok. Mark van Look, I'm not sure what is going wrong. It doesn't seem to be an issue for the other viewers, so I can check my settings, but I think everything is working fine on my side. The only thing that seems to work is refreshing or restarting, but apart from that, I'm not sure what I can do to help you. You can try if you see if you check another stream, maybe that works for you, then we might find what's going wrong. But if other streams also don't work for you, then there might be some setting wrong on your side. I'm not sure which one it can be, but for now I don't think I can help you. How unfortunate it is, though. Alright, so let's see this game. Smeets, Bok, what do we have? Bok has the bishop pair and the active position. As you might have noticed, I'm a big fan of the bishop pair. Bishop pair is so nice. Doesn't guarantee anything, of course. Especially in open positions. I mean, look at these two guys. They're shining. I think you want to put this guy on e6 now because you don't want to, doesn't want to get exchanged. And I'm even willing to give up this pawn. Oh, rook d8. Oh, that's even more beautiful. Forcing white. Probably forcing white to take. Rook takes. And then where's the queen going? Bishop pair is only relevant at the highest levels. Well, in a certain way that's true because, but I think the reason is that only players on high level know how to make use of bishop pair. I mean, also in lower game levels is relevant, but maybe it's more difficult for people of a lower level to make use of bishop here. But fact is, I mean, very often people say that bishops are worth more than knights, even though slightly, but that's the general consensus. But of course, there are like strong GMs who prefer knights, so it's hard to tell. But the fact is that if you have an open position, the bishops are simply stronger. Why is that? Because the bishop can just, if you put the bishop on e5, for example, or d5, it's looking everywhere. But the knight on e3 only has a limited scope. You see, it can't really control the entire board. So in an open position, the bishop is always stronger. And this is an open position, so I always prefer to have the bishop. So he get rid of his bishop pair, still has one bishop left. Queen b5, that's a cute little move. You take, pawn takes, knight has to move, and then the bishop can grab his b2 pawn. So you can't really exchange queens here. But I think queen b3 is a threat because accepting double pawns doesn't look too pretty. Now you can see why this bishop is so beautiful, because it's controlling this pawn, attacking here, and it's doing so many things, and the knight seems a bit helpless compared to the bishop. This is a monster. I think he's gonna go like rook f5, rook d5, f5 maybe, trying to put pressure on f2, or even exchange the rooks and bring the queen. Why not? Queen e1 is coming, so he needs to stop it. One. Ooh, eyeing h2 now. I guess g3, or maybe just put the king back on g1. Moves back with queen f4, I suppose. Okay, white doesn't want to make a draw. So it's hard to believe though. Okay, the knight is solid on c4. Nothing's gonna get this knight away from c4, but the question is, what's the knight doing there? Is queen e2? Yeah. Queen c1 check. Looks obvious. No. No check. Okay, so Smace is below 10 seconds and he'll be stuck there for quite a while maybe. In this game, knights can be very tricky. Yeah, that's true. Knights can be a pain in time scramble. All these forks are hard. I'm sure they're both worth 3 points, but you know, sometimes opinions differ on that point. Now, as you can see, the knight is pushing back the bishop, so I wonder, is he gonna go queen c4? No, he doesn't want to exchange the queens just yet. Make a bit of light here. I think it's dark. Okay, now white is gonna make the perpetual because this passed pawn is too strong. He cannot go for this endgame and be up a pawn because the d pawn is way too strong. So I think he needs to find a draw here. Well, find, it's easy to find. He needs to make it. So another draw. And that means we can switch again and check out what Van Veen and Lamy are doing here. Two rooks against the queen. Interesting. I get the feeling that if white doesn't get checkmated here, then white is just better. Because black is going all out for the win here. But I guess knight d1 is the threat, and capturing f2 after that. He needs to stop this, but it's unstoppable, so I think knight d1, I think he's going to take on e4. Or is he just going to let him take on f2? He has knight e1 though, knight e1, bishop e4, yeah, that's a better idea. No need to sacrifice the exchange. Just give up your bishop. Just give up your bishop. And white in the meantime scooped a few pawns. that might become important later on, but for now he just needs to survive. And I think black might be hoping for some knight takes e3 ideas. Or maybe knight g2 is a good idea. Yeah, that's what he goes for. Now, ideally you want to go h5, knight on g6, and then give checkmate. In an ideal world, but it's hard to achieve. King g2, you might even take on f4. Not sure if you can somehow trap the knights. No, that doesn't. Knight can still go to g6. Never mind. See, cheap tricks. They're too cheap. Just too cheap. No, wait, what? He goes for it. Check. Here, then what? No, did he miss knight g6? Or is he planning e3 at some clever point, clever moment? Maybe, no, queen e2, no. Huh. But Lamy is sacrificing material every time in the late game. Like a rook, a piece, doesn't care. Just going to put pressure on Luke. This is difficult because I think, like, if you move the knight, I think queen e2 is coming, and the rook here and the pawns that are pushing forward, it's getting dangerous. Rook g, okay, but now queen f2 comes with check. And this is clever. Rook g2 and now rook e8. Why not rook e8? That was just checkmate, forced checkmate. Yeah, now the king runs away. No. Wow, rook g7. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I don't think it was necessary. I think it could have been easier, but that was beautiful. But that means Van Wely getting his third win, so he's one win away from once again defeating Lamy. And it might be a clean sweep again. It might just be a clean sweep again. Okay, we're switching back again. We're switching back. Boxmates. Let's watch the first moves. Catch up with the game. So 1c4 was played. We get the English opening. Bork once again gets a pair of bishops. See a pattern arising here. Well, this move is begging to be played. If he closes the position, I think f5 looks very strong. He's trying to crash through on the king side here. And if he takes, I guess we don't mind opening up this beautiful bishop diagonal. I'm hoping for e4, but also f5 is a serious option here to consider. I guess it forces g takes, and well, that allows. Well, it creates weaknesses, more weaknesses on the dark squares. Also, a plan like a3 b4 it's an option, but e4 made the most sense to me, and he plays the d4 now f5, and now e6. You have to push, you have to go now. Just don't look, play the move e6. You have no choice. Pawn takes and take on g6, and well, maybe it's not so clear. I mean, it's not my pieces, so I can just sacrifice all the pawns, but I can imagine Bob wants to reconsider this. But then again, what options do you have? If you don't play e6, he's just grabbing your pawn. If you take on g6, sure, pawn takes, and then the bishop on e6 will be safe, protecting this whole pawn chain here. Nothing's happening. f6? Nah. No, e6. It's the only move I can see. Unless b4. Yeah, okay. Okay, unless b4, and that's just when he played it. Ooh. So the point is, if he takes with the knight, he's basically saying, okay, so now your knight is gone from the center, which means I can do things. Not sure what, but then he can do things, stuff. But I don't see concretely what he has. It takes him before knight, pushes e6. So he has to take, I suppose. Unless he's considering bishop takes. No, he takes with the pawn. Now I guess you take on g6. Or bishop d4. But I thought bishop d4 just pawn takes, queen takes, and he castles. Or he castles straight away. That's also an option. Interesting play. Wow. Buck is not holding back in this game. So he puts the bishop on a1, and this is going to be forever, and this long diagonal. Well, good luck protecting that one. This is not easy. I mean, the queen go here, you can go here, here, or you can even go like this. There's so many ways to try and get the queen on the diagonal. But he needs to keep the queen on the queens on the board. He cannot exchange queens, so he's sacrificing the exchange. He has to. But if you taking on g6, that looks winning. Yeah, that looks winning. So he doesn't have time to take the rook, but the big question is how is he gonna protect this threat? Maybe queen e8 or bishop e8? Goes for queen e8. Rook d1. I just love it when they sacrifice material and then just play positionally again. He's gonna take that. Yeah, sure, he's gonna take that. Maybe he should have. Oh wow, and Luke won another game. Which means he has 4-0 against Lamy, only giving him a single draw. No, wait, what happened here? What happened? I was just looking away for 1 second and Smeets won? What? Smeets won that game? What happened? No, he blundered the full queen. Oh boy. He blundered the full queen. Just in one move. Let me try and get that game back for you guys. I'm not sure if you can see it right. Yeah, you can. I'm sorry for just showing part of the board, but he just played the queen to f4 and knight takes f4, and that was his queen. I told him get rid of the knight. He should take the knight. Oh, that's a shame. He was playing such a beautiful game, but time trouble got the better of him. Wow. Okay, so that happened quickly, and in the other game between yeah, Lamy just got beaten by Van Wely. Also, not sure what happened there, but we totally missed the entire game. But that was finished quickly. So Van Wely qualifies for the final, and he's still on track to defend his title. He had a rough start, but well, he's clearly catching up again. And the way he beats Lamy once again was impressive. Maybe a mouse slip. Yeah, that could be right. It could have been a mouse slip. That's one of the risks of getting yourself in time trouble is the risk of mouse slipping gets bigger. Yeah, I don't have a very good way to show you the games that have been played. As you can see, only a part of the board I can get on stream. So, but I will check what happened in the previous game. How Lamy lost there. He just got tricked. Combination miscalculated down the exchange and didn't feel like playing on. Devastating loss. Yeah, Lamy so solid, but he's always struggling against Van Wely. It's quite surprising that he just lost 4 games and only get 1 draw. But it just shows how strong Van Wely is. Okay, let's focus on this game now. So these guys are tied 1-1. So we still wait for 3 more wins for one of these guys. In case you have any plans this afternoon, just go ahead and cancel them because this can take a while. Good thing they're both time travel junkies, so they'll be fine. They just take time in the middle game. They take all the time they need. And the thing is, if your opponent is also taking a lot of time, you don't even feel weird about it. You know, you just take your time, and your opponent does the same, so it's okay. We're both low. We're both low on time, so you don't feel the need to speed up. So I expect the beginning of the game to be a bit slower, but then why it works. Okay, so as a French player myself, I do like black here. And the reason is quite simple, because black normally has in the French a very bad light squared bishop. That's gone. So white is stuck with this guy, which looks miserable to me. It's locked in by all these pawns, and I don't see a clear future for this guy. While black can just move his knights around, like knight b6, knight a5, knight c4. This is a beautiful square. Queen is probably going here to control all the light squares. And it just feels very comfortable for black. But what is white's plan? I would go like rook c1 maybe. Try to harass this knight a little bit. Queen a4. Maybe bring a knight to c5. But it's all a bit random. Okay. Rook c1 played. The thing is, if you go queen a4 now, knight b6 comes with tempo, and you have to move your queen again. Doesn't feel like that makes any sense. So maybe just queen b3 instead. Now he goes to g4. Attacking e6. Okay, the queen wanted to go to f7 or g6 anyway. Ah, he's going for f4 now, it seems. He is trying to switch play to the king side. If he manages to exchange his pawn, then the king might be slightly weakened. Yeah, if you exchange these pawns, f4, pawn takes, bishop takes, h6 is hanging, knight h5 is coming. You have some serious options there. And I don't think black is able to stop f4. That doesn't stop f4. Well, maybe it does for now, because if you go f4, you might just take on d2, and maybe this d4 pawn is hanging by the knight. Yeah, so he takes on d2, bishop takes, knight d4, but then maybe you can take on g5, attacking the queen. It's hard to say though, because once you lose d4, you always, well, almost always lose e5 as well. And losing these center pawns, it kind of hurts as white. These two guys you don't want to lose. Queen g6. Okay, so f5. Pawn takes, knight takes. That way d4 is firmly protected. And you have a beautiful knight on f5. Okay, he goes for the pawn, which is it a pawn? I don't think it's a pawn, because d4 is still hanging. the end of the line. I mean, if you go bishop g5, I think I have knight d4, but he has h4. Okay, that's clever. But I'm not convinced yet, because knight of 8 needs to protect this pawn. If he protects this pawn, he can, yeah, knight of 8, pawn takes g5, and queen d3. That's what's gonna happen. Bishop g5, but queen d3 is coming. So he's targeting this pawn. That's a good idea. And this guy is also, he can grab that pawn anytime. I don't think white's ever going to be able to properly defend this a2 pawn. So white needs to be quick on the king side, and he's going for h5, h5, h6. I think he's just going to put pressure on the black king. Ooh, interesting. That is very interesting. Knight e6, he wants to pick up the pawn here, maybe. Ah, this is so gorgeous. Look at this. Covering so many squares. f4, forcing the exchange. Now he can grab d4. Knight takes. Well, now we get another endgame with bishop against knight, and with pawns on both sides on the board, I prefer white, definitely. Because white can easily attack this pawn and support on the king side as well. Allowing h6? Is he sure? Ah, yeah, he could allow that. Because with g5, king g6. Okay, so another pawn off the board. King d3. Black is a little bit stuck here. He can't really move any of his pieces. King c3, king h7, the bishop just goes to d2, I guess. Or even c1. Fine with me. Now the king is running here. That is the plan. Now king d4. Give up on the h-pawn, get the d-pawn. He has the wrong color bishop though. He has the wrong color bishop. So maybe black can just give the knight for the pawn. So he just needs to rush his king over here and give the knight for the pawn. Then he should be able to draw. I don't think he even needs to rush the king over there, but okay, we'll get to that if we even get there. Because this knight is stuck on the edge of the board a little bit. And look at the knight, it's cramped. Where do you put the knight? It's going back. Cutting up the king. Okay, so the knight is out. But can he give the knight for the pawn? Will he even get the chance? If he gets the knight for the pawn, I think it's a draw. Wait, allowing e7 now? Oh, take the pawn. No. Oh, now how are you ever going to attack the pawn? Knight d6, knight e7, king here. Okay. But I'm not sure if I like the way he played this. I think he should have taken the pawn before. Yeah, this is just a win. King b7 and the pawn is just all the way up the board. Wow. I think he could have I think he should have taken the pawn before, but okay, it's not easy. So that means Mates takes the lead. So Bob played the exchange Slav, and now he goes e6 first. So d5 he can take with the pawn. That's clever. You don't often see this setup with c6, e6, knight f6, but I think it's a very clever way to stop the exchange Slav. And as you can see, Bob is thinking now. He's like, wait, hold on a second. What happened to my plan? I can't play my opening now. So he's switching plans. Clever, clever by Smets. Now we get this exciting game again. Didn't we have something similar in the Van Wely game? Not the same though, but maybe similar. He's giving up on the c6 pawn. He doesn't really care. He just won a pawn, so giving one back is okay. But this is always complicated theory. There's so much pressure on c6 and b5. I have no clue if this is still known theory, or that one of these players already made a mistake. d5 makes sense, blocking the diagonal. Now c6 is safe, b5 protected again. And if he goes e4 to kick away the knight, then that also closes the diagonal. So either way, the diagonal will be safe for black. So now what? You want to take on b5 or play knight c3 or maybe just castle? This castling feels natural. But maybe he's looking for a way to, a plan for the next few moves. Once again, he spent so much time at the beginning of the game. Already spent 2 minutes. Developing over e4 and d5. Yeah, I guess just developing never hurts, of course. Seems like a good plan here. But maybe he just wants to cash back the pawn as quickly as possible. But I would say bishop b4, castle. Do we castle? No. Not yet. Okay. So black can never really take with the knight because the knight is too important to protect the c6 pawn. He should take with the bishop, and then once again, Bock has his pair of bishops. I think he will castle this time. And bishop c3 because there might be some discovered knight takes. Knight. I know there's some discovered moves here with the knight. I don't think you want to fall for some silly trick. I guess he's gonna play bishop c3 sooner or later. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and maybe just protect the pawn. But okay, black has a pawn, but white has a dark square bishop. We calculated all the knight d5 tricks. I figured it's no big deal. White can also go like this, queen c2. The thing is with e4, as soon as you play e4, I think black takes with the knight. And sure, e4 looks nice, grabbing the center, but I don't really want to block this bishop. It's too good. Ooh, knight d5, he still plays the okay. Bishop d2, only move. Now what's he gonna do? Knight c3 back. Looks a bit strange. Wow. Is he just allowing cd5? ed5. Well played, sir. But he can still play cd5. What is this? Why isn't black just up a healthy pawn? Sure, his bishop is still a bit awkward and this bishop is a lot stronger. It's looking good. But what's white gonna do? It feels like a healthy pawn for black. If he still had the dark square bishops, then I mean there's so many weak dark squares. But now, black doesn't really care. Unless white still has a big initiative. I just like it how this is going to the time scramble again. I mean, 14 moves and both players below 1 minute, and they're heading to being below 30 seconds each. 14 moves. So much fun. Okay, so he protects his bishop, so now pawn takes, I guess he wants to capture with the d pawn. Creating this pawn chain of 3 connected passers. Don't be too bad. Okay. So Bok is putting pressure, he just doesn't want to give Smeets the time to develop his pieces, while in the meantime developing his own pieces. If you go queen d5, you'll go e4. That's a power move. If you take rook e1, and suddenly the king is in trouble. You can't really go queen d5. Or maybe he's just losing a pawn here. Because if you don't protect your rook, then rook b5, and this guy undefended creates a pin here. Queen c7, rook b5. Ah, but he found a way to develop. Now castle. Or does he want to go queen b7 first? c3, okay. That makes sense. Oh, nerves of steel, these guys. I would have castled straight away, but he finds the time to play c3 first, being so accurate. Well, so low on time, but it feels like a very important move, c3, because, I mean, look at this. Pawns are just rushing forward now. This pawn is weak. b4. b4, rook a4. Knight c6. Smeets is in charge. Knight a6 even. Okay. This is looking very good for black. Knight c4. What's going on here? 2 seconds. 48. Okay, he's slowly unwrapping himself here. But what's next? Knight e5. Rook c8. f7 is defended by the queen now. Now you can start pushing this pawn. He sacrificed the rook, but c2, rook a1. That's going to be checkmate as well. Oh, this queen is beautiful, protecting this pawn, covering this flight square for the queen. This is just checkmate. Oh boy, so Smeets wins again. He gets a 3-1 lead, and only needs one more win to get himself to the final. These guys take not a second rest, and they just rush into the next game here. So now they're speeding up big time. I mean, last game at 14 moves, they were below 30 seconds each. This time they're more than 3 minutes. I like it. As you can see, not really open Sicilians in Blitz, because it's just too dangerous. You can't allow yourself to think for a few minutes. If you get in trouble because your king is not safe, it's going to take you too much time. So normally in Blitz, you always see that they first try and get their king safe, and then they can move forward. But Smeets, he played with fire last game because he was just keeping his king in the center for a very long time. And it worked out for him. His c3 intermediate move, that was very, very clever. Good thing he spent half of his time on that move. I think it might have been a game changer here. So what have we got here? This always looks pleasant for black, I have to say. He's developed, he hardly has any weaknesses. But Smeets probably knows this opening pretty well. So can Bok keep his cool and slowly wait for his chances to sneak in and win? Or is he going all in here? a4, I like this move. If black takes here, you push b5. If he takes here, you take with tempo, attacking the knight. You can maybe even play c4 to close it again, or you can decide to recapture on b4 then. Hmm. Interesting. Difficult decision here. I think taking on a4 is not possible. We have to take on b4. Now where does he move the knight? To a5. It's very tempting to go c4, keeping this file closed, so the rook on c8 is badly placed there. Also capturing makes sense. The knight is a bit vulnerable on a5, and the pawn on b4 also feels a bit weak. You can get your center pawns moving. Yeah, he goes for the second option, taking on b4. Now I'll go like bishop d2, just to pressure the pawn. Or you can claim the long diagonal, but that will be contested soon by black, I think. Okay, bishop e3, not interested in the pawn, he just wants active pieces. So after queen c7, what are you gonna play? Use rook c1? I guess. d5. I like that move. Knight e5 is clever, probably forcing bishop h7. And then maybe b6, taking the knight. b6, knight b7, rook a7. Maybe you can create a lot of play here. That might be very strong. b6, knight c6, you can play b7, I think. b6, what's he gonna do? What does he play after b6? b6, maybe just knight b7, rook a7, and knight c5. No, no b6. So many options though. Hard to pick one. There's always a danger if you have too many options. It's very hard to decide which one you want to take. He opens up the d file. Maybe just bishop d3. Oh wait. There's just a knight hanging here. Ah, but also this knight is hanging. Okay. It's all under control, it seems. All seems to be under control. I just thought he blundered a piece. That was not the case. Now white seems slightly vulnerable. Rook's in the open files. That makes perfect sense. And e4 is... well, it's under pressure. I'm not saying it's weak, but it's under pressure, and you need to keep an eye on this pawn. He just goes for active play. This time Smates is low on time. More than a minute behind. And I do like black's position. I'm not sure if you can get anything from it, but I do like his position, like rook d4 maybe. Rook d4, knight e2. That's not gonna help him. if he wants to keep the pawn, b3, but then rook e3. So it seems like he's just dropping the b pawn. And that's going to make a big difference, because once you drop the b pawn, this guy's supported and can just easily go to b7. And that would mean trouble. He has knight d5, but that's just... knight d5 might be working here. e4 pawn is pinned, and you can't really move your queen and still attack the b4 pawn. That doesn't seem to be possible. Maybe there's some other resource here, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't found it just yet. Yeah, he goes for knight d5. Maybe this is a clever move. Or is it just stupid? I don't know. It's too fancy either way. I mean, if you have 20 seconds, I wouldn't start calculating knight f5. It would be a bit silly. But this is also... Wait, he's just dropping... Wait, if you take... Is he gonna play b2? Okay, this is... Now it's getting complicated. Well, I guess knight takes. No, still, it takes b2, knight e4. Rook c1. Doesn't work. Oh, b1 is not a threat. Rook c1 is the big... Now rook c1. Yeah, this is just... Oh boy. Well played by Bob there. Nice combination there. But is it enough? This guy is running. And I don't think... He wants to play rook d1 and bishop d3, but I don't think he has the time. I don't think he has the time. Clever move. King f2 coming. Well, definitely Smeets is not going to win this one. I'm not sure if Bok is going to win it, but Smeets definitely isn't. That means Bok will stay alive for now. And maybe you can even get a win out of this, and it should be possible. Maybe white is just a fortress. I'm not so familiar with these kind of endgames. H5 maybe. Okay, so if white is gonna do nothing, then what's black gonna do? Moving his king a little bit. Okay, so knight checks, knight e4 back, knight h5, whatever. You do have to be careful. Like if you go knight e4, you might take. You have to consider that it is an option sometimes. That's the scary part about such an endgame. Knight h5. Go back. The thing is now you can get your king to f4, because knight e4 you simply capture and the pawn endgame is winning. So the king is going places now. He's going to f2. Ooh. Clever little waiting move. I would check. King f2, I suppose. King f4, but they both look fine. King g1. Wow. Well played. Rook b2 is coming, and if you're dropping this pawn, it's game over. So I guess knight e2 check. King goes back, knight g3. So that plan is maybe rook b2 first and then go king g1. But rook b2 he has to go king h2, so that doesn't work. Oh wow, is he stuck? Knight h1? It's almost in zugzwang. Almost. Oh, but g5 allows mating nets. Come on. Knight f5. This is scary. King h2. Nerves of steel by white. I mean, he's still hanging in there. Almost running out of moves, but still fighting. And now Bok is spending so much time. King e3 or king f1, knight g3. King g1 now maybe? No. So what about king g1? Maybe you can even take on g5. Can you? Probably not yet. Check. The king goes to e3. Cheapos. I see cheapos everywhere. I mean, if he blunders his rook, that will be... then he will have a terrible day. I think he's going to keep his rook safely in the A or B file. Not getting too close. But we might be close to getting like repetitions here. It's hard to believe that there's no way for black to make any progress. Rook f4. Oh boy. That is a problem. That's a very big problem. Knight e4 is not possible. King h1, knight h1. No, he just takes this one. That's game over. But knight h1 was also losing. Rook f6, f4. Well played. Clever solution there. Now this endgame should be winning for black, right? White is too slow. Bok wins the game. He's getting closer. 3-2 lead now for Smeets. But Bok is clearly fighting back here. So no more exchange Slav. We're going for a different setup here. You can play d3 or d4. There's always a choice you'll have. You can decide to go d3 and then later on play c4 or e4. Normally they go like knight d2, queen e1, e4, something like this. He does it without the knight. Once again, this semi-Slav setup is very solid for black. Both players play the semi-Slav with black, and you know, this whole structure is just looking so good and so strong, and it's very tough for white to break through. Sure, you have more space, but that's basically it. Yes, the 50 move rule. We're quite far away from that. But they went from the aggressive opening to a more quiet opening this time. Makes sense. These guys have been playing now for almost 4 hours. Sure, they had a few breaks in between, but these 3+3 blitz games with like eternal time trouble, they're killing. Yeah, 95 makes sense. Maybe he's going for g4 and trying to exchange the knight for the bishop. But on the other hand, this bishop on h5 is a pretty bad bishop. Even on g6 is just staring down at his e4 pawn. So I'm not really sure if you want to exchange your knight for that poor guy. Maybe you just want to let it suffer on g6. So black trying to just exchange a few pieces here. I think he's preparing, trapping the bishop here on h5 or g6. So what can he do about it? He can play h6 and put his bishop on h7, but allowing these pawns to move forward, it feels pretty dangerous. I mean, not only your bishop is, well, being locked in on h7, but also your king will be under attack. Needs to find a good move. Yeah, Lamy van Veli, there was one draw. But that was it. Yeah, as I mentioned, like last year in the final, they made 3 draws and Van Veli won 5 times. So Lamy hasn't got a single win against Van Veli in their last 13 games. I mean, that kind of hurts. I mean, their last 13 games during the Internet Chess Championships here. So yeah, I'm not sure why that is, but it's devastating for Lamy, of course. So Van Veli is just having a, I think he's like having a dinner break now, waiting for these guys to finish. He's all fresh for the final, which is, it can be a big advantage because, I mean, once these guys finish their match, they have like 10 minutes break until the final starts. And you know, the final is the first to 5 wins, and there's no break during the final, so it's just game after game after game. And if there's many draws, you can play like 10, 12 games before it's finally over. That's going to be rough. So Veli's probably very happy he got the break. Okay, so Bok is pushing on the king side. Smeets is pushing on the queen side here. I have the feeling that Smeets might be slightly better. Because I think the white attack isn't that dangerous, to be honest. Sure, he can play g5, but I don't think it scares black in any way. You can even exchange these bishops maybe at some point. But also, you need to keep an eye on this diagonal with the king and the queen there. I'm not so convinced by white's attack. And if the white attack doesn't work, I feel like black is very close to getting some advantage on the queen side. I mean, a move like b4 and the whole queen side might just collapse. f5, he's trying to keep the g file closed. Makes perfect sense. Now what? I'm not sure if there was a cheater, but one of the players qualified quite unexpectedly, and right after qualifying, he closed his account. So that's all I know. And with a closed account, you cannot play the finals. So yeah, he didn't play today. Is it time? Is it time for b4? Well, he needs to make up his mind quickly now. 20 seconds left. Okay, he's just gonna make sure he's safe. Exchanging the active white pieces. And I think he's gonna just claim the d file as well. Clever. Now this bishop also looks silly. Doesn't want to exchange it, but now the bishop is just tearing down his own pawns. Okay, black doesn't have the b4 break anymore, but I guess Mates wasn't too eager to play this move anyway. Because I think if he wanted to, he could have played it a few times already. Now what's white gonna do? Opening up the e file. But I get the feeling he just activates this bishop, and white doesn't really profit from this in any way. Rook e1 and bishop f2 kind of tricks. Now black is clearly taking over, so Bok has to fight for his tournament life here. If he loses this game, he's out. And he is in trouble, I think. The situation on the clock is almost level again. exchange the bishop. Is he gonna protect the pawn? Oh man. Dude, 2 seconds. Nerves of steel, as I mentioned. But this is dangerous. Now c4 and this bishop joins the action. Oh, he was calculating this queen d5, king of 8, and he thinks he's safe here. Maybe he's right, c4. Like knight f6 maybe, some silly move, knight e5. No, no, bishop a1. Second time that Bok has this bishop against the weakened black king. He goes knight f6. Rook e8. Knight takes. Rook d2 is coming. No, bishop d4, clever. Once again, knight and king, you see they're so strong against the queen here. Protecting so many squares. Now bishop d4, queen takes. There's no queen h8, it's not giving him the time. And now white's position is collapsing. It can be over right now, guys. Pawn is running, king is unsafe, the knight's out of play, he needs to bring back the knight. Knight g2, c2. Now this looks devastating for Bok. All the squares are protected. Look at this knight, it's protecting all these important squares. Also the queen. This is game over. I don't see him escaping here. This is game over. Queen b2 maybe, or knight d6. No, he's just bringing pieces. This is, wow. Smates, nerves of steel, this guy, it's amazing. It's just amazing. Even in time trouble, he finds accurate moves. Make sure it's all protected and working well. Look at this, 2 seconds, 1. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes. So I would have put the king here and knight f7, but that's just me. Whoa, 0.4 seconds on the clock. He was just in time, but he dropped his pawn. And what's going on here? He's going for the pin of the knight, but he can't make use of it. He's dropping the a4 pawn as well now. Suddenly Bok is the one who's playing for a win here. What is happening? Tables have turned. g1, it's out of the pin. Oh boy. I did not see this coming. He seemed in control, like, no, rook d7, he dropped the knight. What? Oh, Smates. That's game over. You can resign here. Rook e3 and oh, that was a massive opportunity for Smates there, but he just blew it. That's, wow, that's unfortunate. So we have a tie, 3-3. The first one to win gets to the final. Wow, that was, Smates seemed so much in control, but then he did get in trouble with his king, and that was just too much in time trouble. Now the pawn in the game is also totally winning for white. That wouldn't have worked. Wow, just when you think he has nerves of steel and he's ready to seal the match, he just collapsed. Oof. So definitely the moral advantage is with Bok now, who was down 3-1, but now he just leveled the score and anything can happen now. The good old anything can happen. Holy. You know, you just gotta imagine that these guys just had the crazy time scramble and just instantly play the next game again. Not even a 5-second break, just continue. You gotta recover, like you gotta slow down again and get your head straight and make sure you don't bring your upset or your emotions or your whatever to this game again. You gotta start fresh again. That's the hardest part. You see so many people collapse after such a loss. Oof. Good thing they're starting slow. Need to catch my breath after the previous game. I'm not sure who's favorite now. I'm absolutely not sure. I think Smates was very convincing in many games. Also the previous game. I mean, he showed some great moves. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he can manage to keep it together. I mean, we think about the final. I mean, Bok van Wely. That's always epic. These guys, they so badly want to beat each other. It's it's insane. The rivalry between these two guys. It's absolutely insane. So that's gonna be a great final. But I mean, Smeets, the way he plays is also amazing. I think. I mean, he's so cool in time trouble. Um, so both players, I would love to see them play in the final, but there can only be one. And at this point, I have no clue who it's gonna be. I would say that Bok is slightly favored because winning the last two games that has to hurt, especially the previous game where Smeets was so close to getting to the final, and not even drew, but even lost the game. So what's happening here? Knight a3. That looks a bit silly because now he either has to go b4 or he has to go back. And since I can't imagine him wanting to play b4, also can't really imagine him wanting to go back. Having said all that, what's going on? Did he just miss queen a5? That could very well be the case. I mean, you can't even take on c4 first because you simply drop the knight on a3, so I don't see any other intermediate moves, to be honest. So b4 or knight b1. Knight b1 hurts, you know. You don't want to put your knight back on b1 again after just playing knight a3. But b4 is definitely not what he had in mind because he wants to attack this pawn. This pawn is annoying him. He can't really play d3 or d4 because this pawn is hanging. So it feels like he has to go knight b1 anyway to protect this pawn, and then he can play d3 or d4, whatever he likes. So that's basically where we're at now. But look at the time. He's below 30 seconds. Bok has 2 minutes. And time scramble starting early this game. At least for Smeets it is. Look at this. Well, he is stuck, it seems. Okay, so now he threatens knight c4. Pawn takes bishop e4. I mean, it's a start, but he can't spend any time on any more move this game. But maybe he found a way to develop his pieces, because I gotta be honest, this looks terrible. Black can just develop his bishop and he's a happy camper. Nothing he needs to do. He just needs to stop this trick from happening. That's the only job he has at the moment. And having said that, it's not so easy. But what about now g3? Isn't it just winning the exchange? Knight g3, bishop f5, pawn f5. Okay, maybe e6 might be the issue. But he goes for knight g3, bishop take. He can also go knight f5, of course. If he doesn't trust it, he can always take with the knight. And still have good position because I mean, the issue of these pieces isn't solved yet. So knight f5 still gives him a good position. But pawn f5. Yeah, he doesn't take the risk. He just plays it in a healthy way. Yeah, now white needs to untangle himself in some artificial way. Queen d2 or queen d1. g4. What about knight g3, bishop e3 now? Okay, that solves the issue for now. Knight e2 check. Wait, what's his plan? What's going on here? King moves, but what's this knight doing here? You're gonna go queen c7 and win this pawn? Oh wow. I have no clue what's happening. Knight b1. Or you can go b5 if you like. But knight b1, I mean, this knight is trapped. You just go queen d2, you win this pawn somehow in the future. And I wonder how he's gonna get his knight out. And as you can see, Borg also low on time. It felt so comfortable, so much more time, but now they're both below 20 seconds. We hardly out of the opening. b5 is a threat. I think Smage is better here. Queen d1, protecting this, attacking this. Okay, maybe not so special. 4 seconds. Oh, these guys are kidding me. Yeah, he dropped the pawn, and now he just drops a piece. This one is hanging. Problems here. There's a pin. No way. He just dropped a piece. Oh, Book, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Queen b5 is coming, like bishop h6 to keep the king in the center, c5. Oh man. This is game over. I mean, Smash is not gonna give away this one. Not gonna happen. That's the pawn, knight's coming out. King is stuck in the center. This is game over. What a game. What a game. How did he... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That escalated so quickly. I thought he was in control, but knight g3, knight e2. That seems... This knight g3, knight e2, it seemed too much. It seemed to be way too much. Maybe just put the knight back to, I don't know, e7. Sure, it's a bit slow, but it feels very comfortable for black. No problems. And you can just find some plan later on. But he took risks and, well, he lost. He just lost. So Smates recovered, even though this game wasn't smooth at all, if you ask me. But he recovered and, even in time trouble, played so perfectly to finish this one. Alright, so that's it. Final starts in 10 minutes from now. So Smace has a small little break. Van Wely's been preparing for ages now. Or just sitting and watching the games, I don't know. Anyway, the final's coming up. And yeah, that's gonna decide if Van Wely's gonna defend his title or that Smates will be the, well, somewhat surprising winner of today if he manages to beat Van Wely. Anyway, these games are gonna be exciting, so don't go anywhere. Get yourself a drink, something to eat, but you only have 10 minutes, so do it quick. And we'll see you all back in 10 minutes to watch the final of the Dutch Internet Chess Championships. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.